Hey everybody, it's Mark from Circle of Dark Mother again. Today we're going to talk about Lilith's animal associations. And the topic of this video is really animals that are associated with Lilith and why. Now, I'm not covering everything because there's many animals that could be associated with her, especially anything that is of the night. But I am going to cover some of the big ones, and hopefully this will be helpful. Lilith and snakes. Snakes are very often seen as spiritual entities in many cultures. I have a video on the spiritual association that several ancient cultures had with snakes and vultures, and this is because of their association with death and rebirth. The serpent sheds its skin, which has been interpreted as a sign of life after death. The cycle of recreation also led to the symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. Mesopotamian and Egyptian cultures had several snake-based entities that were associated with the divine feminine, wisdom, and eternal life. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Sumerian mythology, Lilith in the form of Lelake lives in a tree that has a serpent which cannot be tamed at its base. In the biblical book of Genesis, the serpent tempts Eve and Adam into eating of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which leads to their fall. This serpent has been depicted as Lilith, and there are several midrashic stories where she is either the serpent or associated with it. The snake, by its nature of being secret, a predator, and universally feared by humans, gives it a strong association with Lilith. Lilith and owls. Owls are a predatory species of bird that are largely nocturnal. Their large, luminous eyes give the impression of great intelligence, which has led many cultures to associate them with wisdom. Several aspects of Lilith in Mesopotamian culture were associated with or thought to appear as owls, Kalili and Beruritu being the most prominent. In both Mesopotamian and Judaism, Lilith is an embodiment of night, making the owl a perfect animal association. Lilith and lions, cats. Large cats are apex predators within their various environments. Many species are also nocturnal. Feline species from house cats all the way to the largest cats that live today, the tiger, have a mystique about them that many other animals do not have. There is a sense of intelligence, superiority, and aloofness that makes them seem otherworldly. Most cultures revere large cats as spiritual beings, including those of South and Central America, Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, and many others. In several religions, powerful goddesses are seen with predatory cats. For instance, Durga in Hinduism, Ishtar in Mesopotamia, and many others. The Burney relief, Queen of the Night, from ancient Mesopotamia, pictures a goddess with two lions and two owls. This is probably Ishtar, but could just as easily be a depiction of Lilitu or Ereshkigal. In Europe, witches were often thought to have cats as familiars. Lilith is also associated with cats large and small because of their predatory, nocturnal, and spiritual associations. Lilith and dogs or wolves. It may seem contrary to put dogs and wolves on the association list with Lilith after just discussing cats and their larger cousins. However, dogs and wolves are also associated with Lilith. Wild dogs and wolves have been considered messengers and harbingers of spiritual communication throughout history. In Europe, otherworldly dogs were part of the wild hunt and messengers of the Fae. Even the goddess Hecate is often shown with black dogs in her retinue. As Lilith was adopted into European myth, dogs and wolves also became associated with her. They are seen as her messengers, portents of death, and creatures of night. Lilith and spiders. Like snakes, spiders are one of the most feared creatures in human consciousness. Even today, around Halloween, you can see spider webs and rubber arachnids for sale as decorations to terrorize your visitors. One of the most well-known spiders is the black widow. The females in this species are much larger than the males, completely black with a crimson hourglass on their abdomen. The female mates with and then eats the male. Women who prey on men are often called black widows. In addition to their sometimes frightening appearance, spiders are also known for spinning webs to catch their prey. This feature allows them to wait in hiding until an unsuspecting insect gets caught in their web. The spider then injects them with venom to paralyze them, wraps them in webbing, and to eventually suck all the fluids from their body. This is a very vampiric way of gaining sustenance that has fascinated humans for aeons. Lilith is often associated with spiders in her arachnid form. In Jewish myth, she is much like a black widow waiting to prey on men. From a Kabbalistic perspective, the tree of life and shadows are her webs, which she can traverse at will. Lilith and the Black Dragon. Dragons are mythical reptilian creatures that are found in almost every culture in the world. Dragons are often seen as large, winged creatures that are super intelligent and mystical. In some cultures, they breathe fire. In Mesopotamia and Jewish culture, there is a primordial space beyond all creation that is chaos and void. This primordial space is very alien by nature and something that no human can completely comprehend with all potential and no actualization. The black dragon of the void is a manifestation of deity that embodies this other place of chaos and void. The black dragon has been associated with Hecate and with Lilith, among other goddesses, in some of the darker forms of spirituality. I personally had a dream where I was floating in a void where there was only ambient light. As I floated along in the current, a giant black dragon appeared that flew around me in a spiral. As the black dragon flew, she kept blinking back and forth between her dragon form and the human form I associate with Lilith. And this was definitely a gnosis of the black dragon of the void and Lilith's association. So those are some animals that she's associated with. As I said, there's many more, but those are some of the highlights.